Okay, I have a couple things I want to say. One, this is to parents out there. When your kid turns 18, you no longer get to control every aspect of their life. I don't care if they're living with you. They have rights, whether they pay rent or not. If they pay rent, they have more rights. Once you charge them rent, you no longer have the rights of a parent. You have the rights of a landlord. If they pay rent for their room, you don't get to enter their room. Not without a 24-hour notice. And it has to be in the regards of a landlord, such as fixing something, a door, a window, putting in carpeting, changing carpeting, fixing a floor, a wall. Those are what you are allowed to do. You don't get to sit there and ground them anymore. You don't get to sit there and take their stuff away. I don't care what the hell they did. Grow the fuck up. You want your kids to be ready for the real world? Well, quit treating them like they're a child. I don't care how they're acting. They fuck up, let them deal with the real consequences. Now, as far as for those of you who have guardianship over your kids, how about you read what you're allowed to do with your paperwork? Such as the ones that actually have guardianship of a state, but it states limited, where you have the right to ensure that their bills are paid in a timely and appropriate manner. You do that, you give them their money, and you have no choice on what they spend it on. You don't have the right to comment about what they spend it on. If they want your comment, they'll ask. Other than that, keep it to yourself. They'll end up realizing if they wasted their money or not. If they want to save it, they'll try and save it. If they have trouble saving it and they want your help, they'll ask you for help. But just so you know, for those of you that have kids on SSI, the law states that SSI, that money has to be in an account with the recipient's name on it. The moment you pull their SSI money out of an account with their name on it and put it in a private account with only yours, you just broke the law. Yes, your kid can put you behind bars. Most of them won't because they're stuck behind this idealism of, well, they're my parents. It's a title. That's all it is. You're still like any other person. There are parents out there, and I can't tell you how many news articles I've been reading lately, where parents have killed their own children. But they're parents. It's a title that doesn't matter. Those titles make people think that they have more rights than what they really do. Just because you're a parent doesn't give you the right to hit your children. Just because you're a parent of an 18-year-old or over child doesn't give you the right to punish them by taking their stuff away. It's theft. You don't get to ground them in their room and keep them from leaving. It's kidnapping. I don't care if you are the parent. If they're an adult, they have the right to leave. You don't get to sit there and set a curfew saying you have to come back at this time. You can say that certain people are not allowed over, but you don't get to do that as a double standard when charging your kids rent. If you have a daughter and you say your boyfriend's not allowed over, that doesn't mean you get to let your son's girlfriend come over. If one doesn't get to have one come over, the other doesn't get to have one come over. You have to keep things fair. That's just how it works. Now that's fine, but if you have a kid that you don't let the person they're dating come over, you also can't stop them from going over to the other person's house. You can't stop them from staying over there for a week. You can't threaten to kick them out if they get pregnant. You can't threaten to kick them out if they even go. You don't get to sit there and make those idle threats. If they paid their rent, they paid their rent. You want to have extra rules, you give them a written lease. And if you don't want to, then you get to go by the standard. As long as they pay their rent, they don't destroy the property, then they're fine. And you're screwed. Now, if you're just doing it by verbal, it's month to month, which means you have to decide before they pay rent the next month whether or not you're going to let them live there. You also have to give them a 30-day notice. Also, even after that 30 days, you don't get to lock them out. Legally, they can break back in. You don't get to hold their stuff as collateral for rent owed or for any reason. It's theft. Now, if I'm failing to cover any aspects here, feel free to post comments on questions I actually spent quite a number of years studying law. Just basically, I enjoyed it. I am more than willing to answer any and all questions, and for those who disagree with me, I'm more than willing to read every comment. I would like to hear others' opinions. But I have gotten so tired of hearing this about so many people that I know with problems with their parents from dictating who they can and cannot date. I mean, I can't tell. There isn't a single girl I know to date that their parents approve of a decent guy. They'll approve of any guy that's willing to forcibly make these girls act in a way that the parents wanted them to, such as tomboy girls being forced to act girly. It's wrong. You're denying who your child even is. And to sit there and not like a guy who accepts them for who they are, but like another guy, just because he's willing to force them to be girly, is bullshit. In that case, you may as well tie him up, gag him, and force him into a shotgun wedding. But at that point, whoever they marry is basically committing rape whenever they have kids. Quit trying to control your kids' dating life. I don't care if you approve or disapprove of whoever the fuck they date. It's their choice, not yours. Now, you may try to stop your kids from dating at ages 14, 15, 16, 17, but here's the fact of the matter. Unless you're going to homeschool them, they have access to pretty much meet anyone at school. Unless you're going to lock them away during the sunlight hours and homeschool them, they have access to just go out and play and meet someone. You can't stop it. The best you can do is not be a friend, but be a real parent and not some controlling, manipulative piece of shit. That's all it is. I'll tell you right now, I would never tolerate my own mother or my father pulling this crap. I wouldn't allow it. And it's not because I don't respect them. Well, I don't respect my father. That's my own reason. I do respect my mother. I have no reason not to. Doesn't mean that I have to obey everything she says. I can't tell you how many girls I've dated that my mom flat out hated. She didn't try to stop me from dating them. She did, however, voice her opinion. A few times it was kind of funny. But that's what a parent's supposed to do. A parent can give advice. A parent can express their disapproval. But they cannot enforce their disapproval. You don't want your kid getting pregnant at a young age? Well, here's a bit of a parenting tip for all parents out there. Sit down with your kid and tell them, if you really love this person that you're with, you're not going to have sex with them until you're both 18 or over. If they want to know why, and even if they don't want to know why, tell them this. If you have sex and you're younger, and it gets found out because someone's going to tell their friend, someone's going to eavesdrop, or spread it around to someone else, it's going to get around, it's going to get reported like it does all over the country. You can Google search as many freaking cases as you want, and it gets found out. And it's usually the guy that gets locked up. Why? Because this legal system is sexist. And I will cover that in another video. But I will say this. When I have a daughter, I'm just going to tell her. If you think he loves you, tell him you're waiting until you're both 18. If he does love you, you'll wait. Without a problem. You won't make any other moves to go further than making out. But if he won't, then he's after one thing and he doesn't really love you. Because if he did, he wouldn't want to risk losing you. Because the moment that you have sex with him and you're underage, he gets locked up for anywhere from 5 to 15 years, if not more, and he's registered for life, and there will be a court order preventing you and him from ever seeing each other again. And unless you want to lose him for good, you're going to wait, so you can have him for good. Now that's a speech parents need to fucking give. Actually get your kid to understand why it's important to wait to keep the person they care about. It's that simple. You can even show them the laws and sit there and go, I'm not trying to prevent you from doing anything with your boyfriend. I'm actually trying to encourage you to spend time with him. I just want you to be safe and not lose him. That way you come across as on their side, and you actually show the actions to prove that you're on their side. And you're not some controlling, manipulative prick in their eyes. Not saying that's what you are, but that's how they will see you. When all you do is go, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. Well, try not being a hypocrite. I don't want to hear the parents out there who decide to, screw the first person they could at the age of 14, 15, and then tell their kids, oh, you need to wait till you're 18. No, how about instead of going, well, this is what you need to do, how about you give them a reason why? Now, this video's gone on 11 minutes now, and I'm going to wrap this up. But once again, I'm tired of the crap parents pull. If you're not going to be a decent parent, don't have kids. You need to have a set of rules, not just for your kids, but for yourselves. So you don't cross lines and become complete morons. The reason why we got so many bad kids out there isn't because of video games. It's not because of rap music. It's not because of the area they grew up. Because I'll tell you what, I grew up all over the goddamn country. I grew up seeing bullies left and right. Didn't make me a bully. But what I do realize is that it's the fact that parents don't know how to discipline their kids anymore. You don't need to hit them. You don't need to steal from them. Yes, there are a lot of kids that taking their stuff does work. For like 2 times. When they're 5. After that they learn, I'm good, I get it back. Here's a hint, when you take your kid's stuff, when they're under 18, you don't give it back. It's gone for good. You literally take it and get rid of it. Under extreme conditions such as your kid's stealing, you nip that in the bud. Your kid, I had a problem with this with, a little kid. I'm not going to mention names. I won't do that on these videos. He would literally go steal from his own friends. Take the stuff and go sell it. And because of that, he lost a lot of friends. Now, what I would have done is, let's say it was my kid. He goes to a friend's house, steals a video game. His friend goes, hey, do you know where the game went? My kid goes, no, I don't. If I know that my kid stole it, I'm going to sit there, grab my kid by the arm, never up here. I grab him over here, go, hey, come here. I tell him that you're going to give the game back. And then you're going to get your punishment. Because I know you have that game. Now, do you want me to call you out in front of him? Or do you want to just go give him back the game? He's not going to want me to call him out in front of him. He's going to go get the game. He's going to give it back, and then I'm going to tell his friend to wait. Then I'm going to go grab my kid's game system. And I'm going to give it to the kid and sit there and say, this is yours. This is an apology for my kid stealing. He is never to get it back. That kid's happy. The parents aren't going to cause a whole bunch of crap to me. And my kid just lost his game system, which I'm not going to buy him another one. He realized that he's going to lose more by trying to take from others. And problem solved. He's not going to want to keep losing like that. And if he's dumb enough to challenge me, then he's going to lose more and more and more. He'll end up with a bed and clothes. He won't have posters. He won't have game systems. He won't have toys. And that's not abuse. I'm sorry. No CPS will ever require you by law to buy toys and games for your kid. There's playgrounds. There's a yard. Your kids can play outside and get some goddamn sunlight. That's just how it is. So no, There are ways to deal with any problem whatsoever with a kid. And if you want to challenge me on that, go ahead and post a comment of of what a kid does wrong, and I'll tell you how to deal with it. But I'm going to say it's been nice talking to everyone. I will be posting more videos covering various other topics, and probably end up doing some unboxing videos with random electronics that me and my friends buy. So have a nice day.